So for our closing segments, I did want to talk a little bit more directly to FFLs, particularly ones who are smaller businesses and trying to attract more traffic online. You may have a website set up and some basic things running, but one of the big things that you shouldn't be overlooking is your Google business profile. Now, this is something that when it comes to digital marketing is very easy to overlook or think that it's just something that I set up once and kind of forget about. Not really. This is something that should be actively maintained and worked on. Why? Well, because is a really good source of traffic, especially if you're an FFL with a brick and mortar front and you have more product offerings other than just doing, you know, basic transfers, or you have a small inventory of firearms that you're trying to sell. Heck, even if you're a trainer or something like that and you're not even in the business of selling firearms, having a Google business profile set up and properly optimized and, you know, active is really important to drive business, because people can find your website, call you directly, see all of your reviews and everything through there. So I would rate it as second in importance to your website when it comes to your overall digital marketing plan. So let me kind of set the stage here for you. Say somebody is searching for a FFL near them. Say maybe they're looking for a particular firearm, or they just ordered a dagger from PSA, or one of PSA's AR-15s, and they're looking for a local FFL to actually do the receiving. Where are they going to go first? They're probably going to go to Google. They're going to try and find a FFL that's near them, and they're going to want to see you in the top search results, because those are going to be where the vast majority of the traffic actually goes, specifically the map pack. Here, let me show you. I'll bring up a Google search here. So this, if I just type into Google gun stores near me or gun store near me, will give me the same kind of results. But this is the map pack here. And if you're not familiar, this is going to show you search results that have stores that are related to your search, or at least what Google thinks are related to your search. You have your top 3 contenders. Now, on other searches, you might have sponsored links up here, and depending on what exactly they're searching for, there may be advertisements. Firearms related keywords like gun store really aren't going to see those kinds of things because of Google's AdWord policies and advertising of restricted items like firearms. But regardless, you still want to be in this map pack, because again, 44% of all of the people who are searching for something local are going to be going to this map pack, and they're probably going to be clicking on result number 1, if not maybe 2 or 3. So the question is, how do I start working my way into the map pack here on these search results? Well, it's a little bit of a process, and you're going to have to go through a few different things if you don't already have a Google business profile set up. I'm going to, for the sake of this particular segment, assume that you don't have anything set up and walk you through the process from beginning to end. So, sorry about that little hiccup. Apparently my camera decided that I didn't want to talk to my recording software anymore. But as I was saying, I'm going to assume that you don't have anything set up, and we're going to go from the top here. First, if you don't already have a Google business account set, or a Google account set up, get that set up. First, you're going to want to go to Get Your Business on Google. There's a specific page. Just search for something like set up Google business profile or create Google business profile, something like that. That should bring you to the page to actually get this set up. in my free digital marketing misfires guide that you can find on my website, I have links to all of these important pages inside of the PDF, which you can download simply by signing up to our regular newsletter. Now, if your business for some reason is already on Google Maps, you can claim your business profile. There is a specific page that you can go to, or you can just search for claim my profile on Google or claim my business profile on Google, and that will allow you to do so. Very often you'll see Google business profiles be automatically created, especially for stores that have been around for a while but aren't necessarily all that tech savvy, so haven't really been paying attention to things like this. So if you fall into a category of a little bit more of an older location that's still doing okay, but you haven't paid a whole lot of attention to digital marketing up until recently, you might already have a Google business profile already created for you, at least the basics of one, and you can simply log in and claim it if that's something that you're looking to do. So once you have your Google business profile either created or claimed, the next thing that you're going to do invariably is you're going to have to verify your Google business profile. Typically, Google is going to make you do a video verification. Now, this is basically just recording a short video where you walk into the store through the front door. You're probably going to have to, make sure that you're showing off your signage outside. You're unlocking the door. You're going into employee-only areas, or you're accessing a point of sale system or something like that. Google definitely doesn't want to see faces inside of the video, but they do want to see, an exterior shot. They want to make sure that they're actually getting the right location, and they want to see signage for your storefront. As a note, as an FFL, you do need to have a brick and mortar location with proper signage if you want to set up a Google business profile. For home-based FFLs, you cannot be a service area business, so there has to be some kind of a signage on your actual building because you are dealing with restricted items. So unfortunately, this does kind of lock out a lot of the smaller home-based FFLs that are just focused on doing transfers and that kind of thing as their business model, or basically being kind of a side project. If you do want to be on Google Maps, you do need to have a proper brick and mortar set up. Now, technically, you could probably get away with having a home-based FFL as on Google Maps, but again, you're putting your address in an even more public location. So weigh those cost-benefit analyses for yourself. If that's something that you're comfortable with, then go for it. But I would recommend that, and you would probably have a much easier time as an FFL on Google Maps if you did have a proper brick and mortar setup. So home-based FFLs that are trying to follow this process, it would not surprise me if you do run into some shenanigans with Google Maps and your Google business profile. So don't be surprised if something like that happens. And this is Google. They're not exactly in love with gun stores to begin with. So, your mileage may vary here. But let's move on. Once you do have it complete or created and verified, the next thing you're going to want to do is actually complete your Google business profile. So first off, you're going to want to do something like set up your business name. So to use this one as an example, RAC Guns and Ammo, you're going to want to make sure that that's correct and matches, your signage and your business cards, your marketing material, that kind of thing. you're going to want to choose your category. Right now, last I checked, gun shop is going to be the most accurate category available. So Google knows what you do. If you're a little bit of a mix between like outdoors, fishing, general hunting and camping gear, you might want to pick a slightly different category. Take a look at the different options that are available based off of your particular individual offerings. But gun store is the one that is probably going to be the most applicable to most of the people who are going to be watching this particular video. Address and service area. You do need a proper physical address, and you cannot be a service area business as an FFL. They're just not going to let you. Or at least they will probably end up letting you for a little while, and then as soon as Google catches on, restrict your Google business profile, yeet you from Google Maps, and you'll have one heck of a time trying to get that undone. So I recommend from the jump, just have a single business address. Don't have a service area business. Next, make sure your regular and your holiday hours are properly set up. If you do have any kind of a change in your business hours, make sure that you're updating it on your website and other profiles first, then updating it on your Google business profile, because if you do that update, they're going to start checking those places to verify that that information is actually accurate. Another thing, as a small aside, on your website itself, you can also add schema markup, and as part of that schema markup, define what your business hours are as well. Another little tip that you can leverage to improve the SEO or the on-page SEO of your website itself, leverage schema markup for things like local business, business type, what are your hours, what's your location, yada, yada, yada. This is all stuff that you can embed directly into your website, and Google and other search engines will be able to see that and pick up on that. But make sure you're editing outside things first, like your website, your social media profiles, your Facebook page, etc. Then update your Google business profile with the up-to-date information. Make sure that you have the correct phone number, of course. People can, as you can see here on this Google business profile, call you directly just using this button here. On a cell phone, that's going to prompt them with their dialer, and they're going to be able to just hit dial and give you a call. And so make sure that that phone number is accurate. You don't want it to be incorrect, because it's going to be a very bad experience for people, and Google will rank you lower if you have a bad phone number on your Google business profile. Make sure you're adding things like your website. If you have any social media profiles, you can add those on as well. I would recommend, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, depending on what else you might even want to have, maybe Rumble on there as well, depending on how exactly you want to play out your marketing strategy and diversify things. But those three are a good solid starting point if you don't want to be juggling too many social media profiles all at once. Make sure you're highlighting your services and your products, and obviously you don't want to be highlighting or putting links to things like, firearms, pistols, rifles, strip blowers, that kind of thing. But make sure that you are highlighting your product, what kinds of products you offer, what kind of services you offer, that kind of thing. You have this entire description space that you can put stuff into, and people will be able to read this and see what kind of services you offer. You have your business type gun shop in Sparks, Nevada, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, there are some other things that you can do as well. So let's see here. I don't think... Yeah, no, they're not. There is a Q&A section as part of the Google Business Profile that you can leverage as well. So if you have things like frequently asked questions, you can actually pose those questions in the Q&A section and then turn around and answer them. So like, what's the cost for an FFL transfer fee? You could say, oh, it's 25, 30 bucks or 50 bucks or whatever it ends up being. Do you guys offer, scope mounting services? Oh, yes, we do. That kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff that you can put into the Q&A section. Basically, if it's a common question that you get asked, I would recommend that you probably put that into the Q&A section yourself and then answer that question. You do also have a post section that you can utilize here. This, again, you do want to be a little bit careful about promoting the sales of like guns and ammo directly. But if you do have other services such as, CCW classes, firearm safety classes, medical training, you offer, holsters, scopes, optics, basically anything other than guns and ammo, you can relatively safely post about them on your Google Business Profiles post section without running afoul of anything. Or if you have like, oh, we're doing a holiday sale, 10% and off store wide or something like that. That's another type of promotion that you could run. Another section that you should be regularly interacting with is your review section. You want to take a look at this, and of course you want to encourage people who are happy with your services to leave you positive reviews, and if possible, respond to the negative ones. If there's any kinds of issues, try to address those. I recommend in responding to negative reviews, be kind, be courteous, and remember that everyone and their grandmother is going to be able to see your response to this. So make it professional. Don't make it a game of one-upsmanship or you're totally wrong, da 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 da. No, try to be professional if you're responding to negative reviews, and also make sure that you are monitoring the reviews for any talk of like illegal activity or things like that. Of course, you can also report reviews that are like that, just to make sure that they are not potentially adversely affecting your Google Business Profile, especially if, somebody's like, oh, hey, they sold me a gun under the table, and trying to, do some negative SEO tactics against you, then that would be something that I would immediately report and make sure that it gets removed as quickly as possible from your Google Business Profile, because you don't want Google to think that you're not following your federal, state, and local laws, especially when it comes to firearm stores, because trying to get your Google Business Profile back after some kind of hard suspension or deletion is a really difficult process. Trust me, it's not fun. Now, another thing that I would also recommend that you do is make sure you have your notifications turned on for your Google Business Profile. In the management, you have a profile settings page that you can go to. This will let you turn on notifications for, everything from important updates when, customers leave you a new review, if there's any new questions that are posed. There are things like bookings. So if you're leveraging the bookings feature for, like, say, maybe your CCW classes or your firearm safety classes, then that's something that you could do as well. When customers post new photos, etc., etc., etc. Oh, another thing that I should mention on the review front. A good way to get additional reviews and actually drive review traffic is to have some kind of a QR code, especially like up at the register or something that's sitting on the counter that customers can just easily scan. It'll take them directly to your Google business profile to leave a review, and I would encourage your satisfied customers to leave a review, because this will definitely help you. Now, there is much more to actually ranking well, but doing all of these basic things will get you a start in being able to properly rank. And again, this is especially important for these small to medium FFLs that might not necessarily have a big marketing budget or anything like that. And honestly, if you're one of the only, if not the only FFL in your area who's actually paying attention to any kind of a digital marketing strategy, you'll see your sales and your numbers go up quite dramatically, especially if you were towards the bottoms of the rankings to begin with. Because I guarantee you, if somebody is going to look for a gun store, an FFL, or whatever for the first time, the very first place that they are going to be looking is Google and Google Maps. And again, almost half of them are just going to go straight to the map pack, and they will be clicking on one of those first 3 links that you see right here. They're going to go directly to this. They're going to literally ignore this little button right here that says more places, and you see these top three are getting all of the traffic. Everyone down here, they're getting exponentially less and less and less traffic for gun stores near me. So if you want to be up here, actually getting the traffic, actually getting people to come in through your doors and spend money with you, you want to be in this map pack. Now, if this all seems overwhelming, and this seems like something that you don't want to deal with, but you do recognize how important that this could be for your bottom line, get in touch with us. Seriously, we want to help you out. Go to www.capandballseo.com/book or shoot me an email at contact@capandballseo.com. Set up a phone call with us. We'll discuss your situation, and we'll go through how we can actually help you. Because that's what Cap and Ball is here for. It's here to help small and medium-sized FFLs actually grow. And if you're at the point where you want to take things to the next level, get in touch with us. We would love to help you. Now, the next section that I have for you guys is a brief Q&A section about your digital marketing questions as FFLs. So I posted on Twitter recently asking about, what are some of the questions that FFLs have when it comes to, digital marketing. I got a really good response from React Survival Adventure and Field Equipment. Really nice guy. Gone back and forth with him a few times, and really cool dude. But he asked specifically, as a small business, what are some of the more effective methods of getting feedback from customers and potential customers when making decisions that are customer facing? So it's a little bit of a complex question, and there are a few different ways that we can kind of approach this particular thing. But let me break this down into like 2 major sections. 1, with this, I'm going to assume that you have a decent existing email list. Now, you can send out surveys directly to your customers if you have a good email list already established. If you don't, there's a little bit of a different tack that we can take. But for your existing customers or people who are signed up to your email list at the very least, I think this is a good way to judge and get actual direct customer feedback. Now, there are tools that you can use, such as Google Forms, Microsoft Forms, there's SurveyMonkey, there's a whole bunch of other ones out there, but you can basically create a survey, put that into some kind of an email, and send that out to your email list. Now, obviously, you'll want to do some kind of, hopefully you already have some kind of segmentation where you have, okay, these are my active, customers, and these are the kinds of things that they're buying, or however you want to divide things up and kind of segment your email list so you're not feeding everyone the same stuff and you're giving people emails and things that they actually care about, a little bit more tailored to what their purchase history has been, or at least their browsing history on their website, on your website, if you have some kind of a login and you're able to track that kind of thing. But this allows you to get direct feedback from your existing customers who have already said, yes, I want to have a strong enough relationship with you that I'm going to either A, give you my email, or B, give you my email and spend money with you. These are probably the most valuable type of feedback that you can get, because these are people who've already said, yes, at the very least, I want to be in touch with you on a regular basis, or yes, I actually want to spend money with you. And I hate to say it, but the opinions of randos who haven't or probably aren't going to spend money with you probably aren't all that important to your bottom line at the end of the day. But what if you don't have an existing email? Well, there are some other or an existing email list, excuse me. There are some other ways that we kind of approach getting this kind of feedback from your customers. So, one, you can look at social media. If you have a decent or a smaller-ish following, you can solicit feedback directly from your social media followers. Now, granted, not all of them are going to be necessarily your customers. There are plenty of businesses online that I have not been able to purchase from, but I still follow on social media and interact with on a regular basis. So my opinion is probably not going to be as important as somebody who's actually spent money with them. But if you don't have a solid email list, this is a good way to, get some customer feedback and see, hey, what are the questions that I want to pose? Post it on social media, see what kind of feedback and responses that you get. Another way that you can get a little bit of feedback is also through Google reviews. Now, we were talking about Google reviews and things like that, but people will leave you feedback if they're super happy with something or if they're super, super pissed off about something. So, as almost counterintuitive as it sounds, the negative reviews can actually be very useful in this regard. If there is some kind of a legitimate problem that keeps popping up in the negative reviews, that is something that you can potentially take a look at and take action on. So, obviously, take stuff with a grain of salt, look at things objectively, but if a problem keeps popping up over and over and over again in the negative reviews, maybe you do actually have a problem and not just one rando who didn't like your haircut that particular day or your shirt that particular day. So again, that's another way of getting feedback is through those reviews. And it's not just Google. If you have a Yelp profile, you can get feedback through reviews on there. There are other ways that you can get feedback through reviews on your Facebook profile. So take a look at these different ways for people to actually interact and leave you feedback. This is what it's there for. But there's another option that we can take a look at, a little bit more indirect. So Microsoft offers a tool called Clarity. Now, this is a user behavior and interaction tracking tool. basically what this allows you to do is see how users are interacting with your website and what they're actually doing. Actually, let me do this. Let me do this for you guys so you at least have a little bit of an idea of what this looks like. So, okay. So this is Microsoft Clarity. Now, I don't have a ton of traffic on my website, so I don't have a whole lot of interesting stuff to show you. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. And this here is a recording of me interacting with the website previously. And you can see kind of where you can see where the user is actually interacting with, what elements they're clicking on, and where they're going, that kind of thing. We also have heat maps here. Yeah, so you can see where people are clicking. So like here, this element here for the menu, and then let's see, this is going into an inner element area. So obviously with more traffic, you would have more data, but this shows you where people are interacting with. Now, if people are, interacting with areas of your website that like say, oh, this doesn't really do anything, well, maybe you should make it do something. If people are lingering, like say if we go to like the recordings, and if I go back to this recording here, so say we have something like, see mouse movement kind of lingering around like this area right here. Maybe you should consider redesigning things a little bit so that, your mouse is or you have something right there for people to actually use. But of course, this is kind of starting to dive into the weeds a little bit more. But my main point in showing you this is there are other ways of collecting information and additional feedback, be it things like Microsoft Clarity, be it Google Analytics, be it other types of tools without having to directly go out and ask people questions. You can see what kind of behavior and interactions that they're having with your website. What pages are having high bounce rate, which to explain the jargon means somebody visits and then just immediately leaves and doesn't come back. That's, maybe there's something wrong with the page. Maybe you need to tweak the copy on it, or maybe you need to change the layout or something. These kinds of analytics tools can give you a lot of data and information that you can actually take action on without having to directly go out to your existing customer base, send them emails, and then hope and pray they actually answer the survey, or go through social media and pose a question and hope that you're getting responses primarily from people who either have bought from you or want to buy from you in the future. But hopefully that kind of long-winded explanation gives you a little bit of an idea about how to actually gather feedback from your customers or potential customers and start to having some kind of an idea about making effective changes. So with that all wrapped up and gone over, I would like to pose a question to you guys. What are your particular concerns as FFLs? I would love to hear from you. What are the challenges that you're facing? What are the things that you're trying to look to improve upon? If you leave those in the comments section below, as part of my next video, I'll be answering those questions. I would love to hear from you guys and to help you out. So let me know, what are your biggest challenges right now, and what are the biggest questions that you have as an FFL or someone who's marketing to the Second Amendment community through digital means? What are you going through? What do you guys need help with? What are you not understanding? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will do my best to give you a good answer that you can actually take action on.